Hey guys, how you doing? Ron Raymond here from the Raymond Report with your report card today for NBA action for February 27th. Hope you have yourself a good start to your Ruby Tuesday. As always, don't forget, subscribe to our channel by tapping that notification bell in the top right-hand corner, or hit the subscribe button below this video if you are using a mobile device. Today's podcast is brought to you by the Raymond Report. Come and learn the 5 fundamentals of the Raymond Report. That is value, percentage play, performance cycles, player availability, and we use a strict money management system. But today in the report card for the NBA, we're always going to look at value, percentage play, and performance cycles, and we'll see if these technicals line up for a good confidence play tonight. And how you get to your report card is you go to the menu, go to cards. Once you get the cards, you go to NBA. And then once you hit the NBA button, go to game matchup NBI. And let's take a look at the number one game here tonight between Dallas and Cleveland. So the number one thing in the Raymond Report is value. And you can see we have Cleveland at minus 4.3, Dallas at 8.5. So the line tonight is 4.5. So if you like Cleveland, it's fair market value. And if you like Dallas, you're getting a lot of value here at 4.5, because I had them listed at 8.5. So why is Dallas undervalued here tonight when they should be an 8.5 point road underdog? But we'll take that value. So I do like Dallas here on the value. Now the percentage play. Chance of winning this game straight up, 62.5%, 44.4 for Dallas. And as you know in the Raymond Report, if we can get this at 40% or higher on the percentage play, we will give it consideration. And what you want to do is you want to string along enough indicators to give you more confidence into your selection. And number 3, the performance cycles. Anytime Dallas plays an A-type team, not that good. 5-12 straight up. And for the Cavaliers, look at this, 5-6 against B-type teams, 8-11 against the A's, but they really beat the beatables at 24-2. So Dallas could be worth a serious look here tonight. And I do like to factor in a bullish cycle right now of 17 days. But you know what? I think what I want to do after is look at the Raymond Report and go look at the head-to-head matchup in this series between Dallas and Cleveland. In fact, I'll do it right at the end to show you what I'm talking about, to see if Dallas is a true nice selection here tonight. Golden State taking on Washington. The value, minus 4.9 is what I have for Golden State, and you can see they're minus 11. So overvalued tonight against the Wizards. Percentage play, 67% chance of winning. And on the performance cycles, you can see here that Golden State against the C's, 16-6 straight up against teams with a 50% or lower winning percentage. So Golden State looks like the play here tonight. Brooklyn taking on Orlando. Orlando minus 9. I had 6.8. So Orlando overvalued tonight against Brooklyn, coming off a big win over Memphis. So don't put too much stock into that Grizzlies win. And when you look at the percentage play, 69.4% for the Magic, only 25% for the Brooklyn Nets. So the technicals are telling us it's below 40%. And the performance cycles against those B-type teams, 5-7. And for the Orlando Magic against C's, yeah, they're dominant, 18-4. Philadelphia taking on the Boston Celtics. Now the Sixers, obviously, not the healthy lineup right now. I had Boston at minus 8.9, so overvalued at minus 12 against Philadelphia, which I had at plus 5. And you can see, just by looking at the numbers, you can tell there's injuries and there's something wrong with the Sixers. And on the percentage play, yeah, 16.6 compared to 82.2. And on the performance cycles for the Boston Celtics, 17-3 against teams with a 50 to 59.9 win percentage. And when you put these two, the A's, the B's and the C's together, Boston is 37-5 against teams with a 59.9 or lower win percentage. And that's very dominant for the Boston Celtics. All right, let's take a look at Atlanta taking on Utah. Minus 1.5 is the line. I had minus 5.3. So Utah undervalued tonight against the Utah Jazz, who I had listed at plus 4. So Utah also undervalued. Percentage play does favor the Atlanta Hawks at 64.2. 52.6 for the Utah Jazz. The only thing I don't like, though, is that they're bearish 15 days. And bearish means they're either 0-7, 1-6, 2-5, last 7 contests. And you got a neutral team here who lost, I think they lost the last game against the Raptors, so they're going to be in a nasty mood. And neutral 2 days, so Atlanta might be the play here tonight. New Orleans taking on the New York Knicks. Now, the Knicks coming off that win against Detroit yesterday. The Pelicans minus 3 is the line by the bookmakers. We don't have a line here, so they've never been in this situation that we've been looking at for our value index. And for the performance cycles, actually, you know what? The percentage play does favor New Orleans at 63.6% compared to 48.8%. I do like New York, but I don't like the factor bearish right now, 13 days. So that means they're not playing good basketball. And when New York's are playing against the B-type teams, only 7-7 straight up. and for the Pelicans, 9-13 against the A-type team. So this might be a stay-away game here for me. All right, Minnesota, -8.5 is the line. I had -9.8, so a little bit undervalued tonight against the Spurs, which I had at +12.5, so they're undervalued as well. 86% chance of winning for Minnesota compared to 11.6 for the Spurs. And when the Spurs face those A-type teams, look at that, 1-16. And for the Minnesota T-Wolves, 18-4 against teams below 500. Charlotte taking on Milwaukee. I had the Bucks at -9.6, so overvalued today here at 2 touchdowns and a hook. And I had the Charlotte Hornets at +12.5. So you know what? If you like Charlotte, you're getting a little bit of a discount here at +14.5. However, chance of winning is 0, 95.5 for the Bucks. And the percentage play on the performance cycles, anytime Milwaukee faces a C-type team, 21-7. And Charlotte, so you say we got a chance, 2-16 against the A's. All right, Chicago Bulls taking on the Detroit Pistons, 2 C-type teams in the Rain Report, 2 teams below 500. I had -5.3 for the Bulls. You can see the bookmakers giving you -11 to buy. So you got an overvalued Bulls team tonight against the Pistons teams, which I had at 8.3. So if you like value, you're getting +11 against Detroit. Thing I don't like though, they're bearish 14 days, and we're only giving them a 16.7% chance of winning. And the thing is, when you get these type of lines and cycles, and you know they're not the technicals don't add up. You might want to do a 2-team parlay if you really like, say, Chicago and Milwaukee, right, on the money line straight up. But again, maybe for beer and pizza money. Houston taking on the Thunder. Right there, fair market value. I had 10.2. You can see they're at 10. And the performance cycles, the percentage play, 77.9 compared to 18.7 for Houston. And bearish 18 days, bullish 14 days. So another, technicals just pointing towards Oklahoma City. And the thing is, if you like Houston, you got to go try to find and make a case, right? And that's a really tough thing to do, because when you get a team below 500 like Houston right now, and they're facing an A-type team, what's their record? 6-13, and they're 5-22 on the road this year. So it's like putting makeup on a pig, trying to prop up that bet and make it look good, but it's going to be tough to do, right? And Miami taking on Portland, -7 is the line. And I had -3.2, 78% chance of winning here for the Heat. Bullish 14 days, while Portland I had an 8.5, and you can see that you're getting only +7, so you're getting a little bit undervalued team here today with only a 20.6% chance of winning. And you got a bearish 19 days, bullish 14 days, and Portland against the Bees 5-12, Miami 17-7 against those C-type teams. All right, percentage play. Here's another tip you want to do sometimes, and you want to track this. Look for the teams that are underdogs with a 40 or higher win percentage and see what the record is, and it'll give you a good indication if they're a serious contender, right? And right now, we only got one underdog. There's Dallas, who's 40% or higher. You got Utah, 40% or higher. New York, New York, 40% or higher, but they're bearish, right? So you got a bearish. Who else is 40% or higher? And that's it. You only got 3 teams, but look at those 3 teams right here. So New York, bearish, right? So that doesn't help us. Utah, bearish. That doesn't help us. And then what's the other one? Dallas, bullish. So let's take a look at Dallas tonight and see how they do. And if you're a law of average, handicapper like I am, maybe you're saying, or a contrarian, you're saying, you know what? Maybe they've run the top here. So maybe you do want to look at Utah and what was the other one? New York, right? New York might be worth a look here, even though they're in a bearish state right now. But hey, this is why we do this show, right? Okay, so what I want to show you guys, remember I said at the top of the show, I'm going to show you how when you got these indicators or technicals, and it's like a court case, right? You're trying to make a case for your pick. What I like to do is I like to go in the Rain Report, and let's go to that Cleveland and Dallas game. Sometimes, teams are like fights, right? The styles of fights. Sometimes a team doesn't match up well against another team historically. And you can see here, Dallas, let's take a look at the Rain Report on the technicals going into tonight's game. 7-3, 7-3 straight up. 6-4, 4-6 against the point spread. 3-7, 3-7 to the under. So you can see all the games going under. That's why your Kogo is very high at 67%. The chance of winning this game tonight, 62.5% chance of winning, compared to 44, which we talked about. But what I like to do is when Dallas is on the road against an A-type team, they're not that good. 2-5 straight up, 3-4 against the number, so we're not even at 50% right there. And if you look historically, when they're in Cleveland, They're 5-5 straight up, but 7-3 against the point spread. So I kind of like that. And when Dallas is on the road on 1 day's rest this year, and they're a 3.5 to 6 point road dog, they're 2-0 straight up and against the point spread, and 2-0 to the over. Now, I kind of wish this was in the, I always like to have a sample of 10, but, 2 is still low. But here's the bad news. The bad news is when Cleveland's at home as a 3.5 to 6 point home favorite, they're 6-0 straight up and against the point spread. So this is why, even though when you look at the technicals on the report card, sometimes you got to go inside the Rain Report and dig a little bit deeper, because these are the pearls that you're going to find sometimes. And you're going to say, you know what, man, these are really tight numbers. And when you look at Cleveland's history against the Dallas Mavericks, 4-6 straight up and against the point spread, 5-5. And again, it's like a court case. You're making a case for both these teams. But going into tonight's game, you know what? If I were to pick something on this game, I think it's Cleveland money line. I think if I look at this Cleveland money line, but again, I don't like the fact they're only 2-4 against B-type teams, and Dallas is not that really good. So the good news is, look at all this. You got a lot of games to pick out tonight. Even though this might be the game that's on TV the most that everybody can watch, and you want action on that game, sometimes the best bet you make is the one you don't make. And if you can't make a case for your pick, as I always say, sometimes the best bet you make is the one you don't make. And if you don't, you can't make it, just get off it and go find some more value somewhere else. All right, that's your tip of the day here, courtesy of the Rain Report. Again, folks, come and learn the Rain Report sports betting system right here at atsstats.com. Come and learn about value, percentage play, performance cycles, player availability, and use that money management system. In fact, if you just scroll right down, you'll learn a lot more about sports betting. And here's my money management system that I like to do. So if you're ever wondering, okay, you know what? How much should I bet on this game, right? And if you believe in the theory of the law of average like I do, and it's like anything in stocks or crypto, what goes up must come down. And here I got the away teams and I got the home teams, right? I got the A's, the B's, and the C's. A-type teams are teams with a 60 or higher win percentage. Now, if they're bullish, I would recommend 1. You know why? Because bullish teams can't continue to win, and it's tough to win on the road. If they're in away neutral, meaning 3-4, 4-3 in the last 7, then it's a 4-unit play, because there's a chance for them to get on that run. And if they're bearish, like an old high school sweetheart, you stay away, because you just can't trust bearish teams, because you never know when it's like trying to catch a falling knife, right? You never know when they're going to start that streak. But here's the good news. I'd rather play a bearish team that's an A than a C, right? And the same thing with the home teams, right? So you look here, bullish, neutral, bearish, bullish, neutral, bearish. Find the type of team they are, and then look at the units that I recommend. All right, there you have it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that today. If you do, hit the like button and subscribe to our channel, and we'll be back tomorrow with another edition of the Report Card. Cheers.